the Real Estate U podcast with Lettiann.
Welcome back to Real Estate U with Lettiann, and today I have the honor of being with Debra Lawrence with Abundant Moments Photography. Welcome, Debra.
Thank you so much for having me, Lettiann. It's an honor.
It's just great seeing you again. And despite the fact that we're Zooming, I know I'll see you again in person. But we're going to talk about photography today. And the first question I'd like to ask, are you a real estate photographer?
You would think I am, being on
on a real estate podcast. Yes.
Right. But I'm not. What I do want to tell you, though, and tell all your listeners, is it's very important that you do use a qualified real estate photographer when taking pictures that you're going to be using, because it's so critical. Yeah. Right?
I don't understand sellers that allow someone to take pictures with their iPhone. I know iPhone cameras are great. They're great, but they're not great for real estate. Wait, they're great, but they're not great for real estate. So yes,
true.
Hire a professional. You can keep reiterating that for real estate, but and continue telling us what you excel in, Debra.
Absolutely. So I excel in families, high school seniors. We do a lot of special events and charity events, which is so much fun. But really our focus is on families more than anything else. I think my favorite age is probably toddlers, because they still like you. Once they kind of hit school age and teenager age, as those of you who are parents know, they don't like you as much anymore. And so they're less fun to photograph. But overall, I love photographing families. And we are a high-end boutique studio, so we focus on creating wall art for people's homes.
Well, I look forward to talking with you about wall art, but we have that in common, Debra, a boutique, service, value, quality-oriented company, which just like Lettiann and Associates Real Estate Services, because who you hire matters. I know you're positioned the same way with your business platform of taking photographs, higher end, boutique style, more personal, more service and value oriented for your clients. And I really think that makes a difference. How has that served you?
It's been fantastic. I mean, definitely when I started the transition, which happened really when COVID started, so towards the beginning of this year, there was a little bit of pushback from some of my regular clients who were like, oh, but you're so inexpensive and you're so good. And I was like, oh, that's why I can't keep charging that. Because I can't. In order for me to really serve all of my clients at the highest level, which is what I wanted to do, I had to weed out some of those ones that weren't willing to pay for what it was worth. So it's okay for me to not be able to serve absolutely everybody, so that I can serve a select few on a higher level. And while I do still give my services through charity events and when needed, because that's part of serving your community, right? And that's really huge. The biggest thing is being able to take care of my clients in a completely different way, holding their hand from start to finish. So there's no worry, there's no discomfort. It's really precisely what you do at Lettiann Real Estate.
So the high-end experience, walk us through what that might look like for your photography client.
Excellent question. So first I get a phone call, just like you would, right? You'd call a photographer, and sometimes it starts out with, well, I need family pictures, but I don't know where to go from here. Okay, perfect client for me. I do know where to go. Let me walk you through that. And so I do a needs analysis. I learn a little bit about them, build some rapport, make some choices about where we might go and take the pictures, what's going to look best for their walls, what they're thinking style-wise. We get to the point where I've given them some idea of prices, where we schedule an in-person consultation. And during that visit, I go over the prices in detail, so there's no, blindsiding them later, so they know exactly what we offer for exactly what price. We talk about outfits, props, backgrounds, location, those kinds of things, and we set up the photo shoot. Then we do the photo shoot and have them back to the studio, or I can do that in their home, where I show them a slideshow, gorgeous slideshow set to music, all of the images that I culled down to just the very best, including some collages. And at that point, I'm able to actually show them pictures of the walls in their home with this artwork on the walls. So I've taken some images either that they've given me or I've shot for them of walls in their home. And then I'm able to show them like, well, over your bed, how do you think this looks? Should we make it bigger, smaller, change this picture on the left? What are your thoughts? And we walk through that together. So I'm able to create for them exactly what they want. And then I'm able to deliver those directly to their home, ready to hang, which is really nice. So it really, truly is full service.
So the walk through the home, and you and I were talking about a project for someone previously where you brought up the example of maybe they have little ones, and you were suggesting some photographs for the bathroom. And can you give us that example again? Because I'm trying to paint the picture of what it would look like when someone you go to someone's home for a consultation, you're literally walking through the house, and because you mentioned wall art before. So people are like, sure. Oh, what do you mean? You go pick out wall art for them? No, you're actually going to create the poses with the correct backgrounds, take the photographs. So what you're shooting for them, Debra, actually becomes their wall art with them in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what we encourage people to do. And what's nice about it is if I've seen the home first, which is the ideal, where I walk through their home. Now with COVID, I've been doing some of those visits via Zoom, and that's fine. Sure. But if I've seen their walls, we can talk like, okay, when people first walk in, this is the wall they see. Wouldn't it be great to have a sweet family picture, something really relational, where you guys are having fun, you're not staring at the camera, something interactive. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Or maybe that's a perfect picture for the bedroom. It depends on the feel, the colors, the layout. All of these things are incredibly important, which is why I have quite a bit of background in interior design, which really helps me make some of these choices and help kind of push them in the right direction. And what you're talking about with the bathroom, it's actually quite funny. So I have learned from experience and from that background I talked about that you can't have people looking at the camera in bathroom wall art because it feels weird. So nobody wants somebody looking at them in the bathroom. So if you think about it, if you've ever had artwork in the bathroom where somebody's looking straight out, it feels odd to you. So we just let people know this is the perfect spot for something where you're looking down, or you guys are looking at each other, or it's just your feet or just the baby's hands. Those are great bathroom pieces. And so we really shoot for the person's specific home. I know going into that photo shoot, I'm going to do a nice series of 3 of little baby's feet and interaction with mommy for the bathroom, for instance. And so it really customizes it and makes it so much easier. The whole process goes so much smoother when you're thinking ahead like that.
I love the niche of your business that you are creating the wall art based on photographs of the family or the owners of the home. And instead of them going and shopping for wall art, you're actually creating the art with them in it. I think it's genius. Love it.
Yeah. And it's nice because it's so different than what you would normally put on your walls. I have clients who go to Pottery Barn and spend several $1,000s on something that they're going to put on the walls of their home. That's not something that gets passed down from generation to generation. Everything that I create, it's heirloom quality wall art, and it gets passed down from generation to generation. And there's stories that are told about the family and the kids and the background. I mean, it brings so much value to the home, and it builds up self-esteem for the kiddos and the family because they're seeing themselves on the walls and they're seeing that love within the family. And that's huge, huge.
It is. And it makes it so much more personal and personable. So, so we're on the cusp of the holidays, although this episode will air later in 2021. But anyone for any holiday, would you have any tips or secrets, maybe something about lighting? If someone's wanting to take photos of their home or of their friends or of their family gathering or of a holiday, what do you suggest or recommend for someone wanting to just take some shots themselves around their house and with their family?
Yeah, and I get this a lot because you're not going to pay a professional every single time you want pictures. That's just
you'd have to live with me. Yeah, you'd have to live with me, Debra.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm open to chatting about that later.
I don't know about that.
It's cost prohibitive. You can't make it happen. So, I always recommend that whether it's on your phone or whether you have a nice DSLR, you have a beautiful camera, you're going to want to look for the light. And so, for instance, even right now in this podcast, if you're looking at me, you can see that there's catch lights in my eyes. And that's what you want to look for, is those little dots of light in people's eyeballs. It's something, you're going to want to look for those dots of light. And so, for instance, right now, the reason why my light is so good is because I'm standing facing a window. So I have natural light coming in. And then because it wasn't quite enough, I have a little tiny light. It's right up here and it's attached to the top of my my phone. But I'll show you the difference. Ooh, I turned it way up and I turned it off. Do you see how there's more shadows now? Yeah. When I turn it on and keep it low, it's just enough to kind of fill in those shadows. And that's just, that was like a $14 Amazon light. And I just attached it to the top of this bracket. And it makes all the difference so that I don't look older, because nobody wants to look older, and showing wrinkles and whatnot. So just a little bit of light facing your subject. And that can be as easy as window light. Now, I will tell you, when you're photographing groups, your best bet is to either go outside or find a bank of light both to the right and to the left of your subjects, because it's very difficult to find enough light coming in to get the depth for everybody in the group. That does make it more difficult, and you may have to add flash of some sort. Definitely try natural light if you can, because you're going to get a better look.
So outside for groups.
If you can.
Yeah,
if you can. Hire a professional.
And always have the light in front of you is what I heard you say.
Right. You want to see it reflecting back onto your subject. And so I just recommend for people that they turn until they see the best light. You just kind of turn until you get the light that you want that's most flattering. And sometimes it just takes an extra couple minutes and you go, oh my gosh, wow, what a difference.
So what's your favorite photo shoot, Debra, and why?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say, well, I told you before, I love toddlers. And so anything with toddlers, I love, because they have... Aren't
you chasing them though? Toddlers are running. You're like chasing them. Like,
true. So true. So true.
Do you catch them when they trip and fall, or till they hurt themselves?
They're happy when they're running.
Yeah.
It's so true, Lettiann. Yeah. Toddlers are moving targets. It's true, but they're just happy. They're rarely unhappy. I would say I've
seen a couple of unhappy toddlers.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have 5 children, so I've seen a few moments, but I might push that up to preschoolers, because preschoolers are generally very well-natured. They're people-pleasing, so they want to do what you ask them to do, and they just giggle at anything. And so that would probably be the most fun for me, though I think I prefer families to anything else, because being able to capture a family together, that's so timeless. It's so precious. And so I'm really passionate about that.
Yeah, very rewarding as well, just because you can almost see where they were, where they are now, and what's to come, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Debra, what's the most unusual home you've been in to create some of this wall art? Did you ever go into an unusual home that might have been a little more challenging for you to decorate?
Yes.
Do tell.
For sure.
Yeah. Why you're laughing really hard? I'm going to take your picture. Hold on.
Because, oh my goodness. I'm laughing because I did have a client one time. I had pre-qualified her, kind of chatted a little bit about that we're boutique, we create wall art, and I set up a visit in her home. And she lived in a trailer. So, and not even a double wide, a trailer. It was really small, but she was single, she was older. It's all the space she wanted.
That's awesome.
So it was a good fit for her. Yeah. And so I walked in and I kind of looked around, and she had said, is there really room here for wall art? I'm like, I said, well, there is. We're not going to wallpaper the walls with it, but there was plenty of room for what was a good fit for her. Plus, for her, I sold her an album. So she's single. She lived by herself. She was a grandma. We were getting pictures of all the grandkids, but she wanted something really impressive for the wall. And so we did that for her. We had one gorgeous piece, and then we put all of the pictures from the shoot in the beautiful leather album. And it is stunning. And that was a really good fit for her, but I wasn't expecting.
So let's say here in the Kansas City metropolitan area, you have a home that's near and dear to your heart. and you want Debra to photograph it. I'm going to let you take it from here. We're not able to have, I wish we could screen share that you could show what you do with a photograph of a home. Now, granted, I'm talking about taking a picture of the exterior of a house, amplifying it, and creating wall art with it. Debra, take it away, because I think that's a really cool thing you do. And I've seen the before and after pictures. They're incredible. I would want to hang that. If my grandma's house was closer, I would ask you to do that with this. So tell us more about that specialty you do.
Yeah, for sure. So it is truly a specialty. It's something where we put hours and hours of work into this art piece. We make it very, very unique, and we can even include some special details and memories in the piece as well. So for instance, a home, it does not have to be a mansion or a vintage home or antique, anything like that. It can just be where you grew up, or where
it could be that trailer. It could be the trailer home you told us about. That's someone's home.
If it's important to you.
Yes.
And so what we can do, and I'll use that as an example, it could totally be a trailer home. I come and take pictures of that home, although as you talked about, I can take a picture that was already shot. There are some guidelines. I need to make sure it's high enough resolution, but I can take a picture that's already taken, or guide you through taking one yourself if it's going to be something that's out of town or when you're on a visit with family. And then I create art from that. And so we individually brushstroke, we add lighting, like a sunset glows from the window, flowers, we fix, the siding, green up the grass, things like that. But then we can also add features and things that are important to you. So it's, put your childhood dog sitting in the front yard, those kinds of things, to really make it something personal. And these are truly created works of art, incredibly unique. And that's something we can do as a service. And it's so much fun. Really, it's so many tears. People are so happy.
And I mean, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Do you have any examples of that specialty feature on your website?
Good question. I do. Absolutely. Okay. I do have examples of that. Super, super exciting. And we do have quite a few services that are similar to that, weddings, families where they just want something extra and they want to add to that. So it doesn't have to just be a home. It can be, hey, my family picture, we didn't get to go to Mexico because of COVID. Can you put us on a beach? Yeah, I can totally put you on a beach and it'll look completely realistic. No problem. So there's things like that I can create that are really timeless for people.
So it doesn't have to be a house. It could actually be maybe a location where someone was married or where they had a special occasion, something to be remembered for decades, right?
Absolutely, because what we create is heirloom artwork that's passed down from generation to generation. So we want it to be truly, truly personal and special for each person.
Debra, we have just a few minutes left, but let's talk about real estate, realtor headshots and photographs of us on our business cards, us on our marketing, real estate professionals on their website. Let's talk about the importance of those pictures. I'll call them headshots or profile shots of real estate agents. We've seen we've seen some nightmares,
I hate to target you guys. I do.
Oh boy,
I hate to sit
we're targeted all the time. Why not one more person targeting us? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I hate to say you darn real estate people, but there have been more realtors that have come to me with pictures on their business card that I swear were taken 25 years ago. I don't know what happens. Maybe you guys just get really busy and you're so passionate about your work, you figure, I love that picture because I look super hot, I'm going to keep it. I don't know what happens, but it's more realtors than any other. It's true. It's true. I'm sorry, but
no, I'm laughing with you because I've had someone, people hand me a card introducing themselves and I'm like, oh no, this must be someone in your office. And they'll go, no, that's me.
Or your daughter.
But I don't understand the why behind it unless they're so complacent with everything being comfortable that they don't want to change it up. I don't know, but...
Okay, I have an idea. I have a theory, Lettiann. So my theory is that we get older and we don't like how things have a gravity effect. perfect. And so we don't think we look as good. And the reality is that regardless of whether you like the way you look or not, people have to recognize you from that picture on your card. It's branding, guys. And so when they see that picture on your card, on a billboard, on a flyer, whatever it is, it has to look like you look. Now, it can be a slightly retouched, better version of you. It can be a version of you with fantastic lighting, but it has to look like you. And if you are warm and friendly and passionate about what you do, it's going to be fine, I promise. So guys, it's critically important. I recommend every 2 to 3 years updating your picture. That may seem excessive for those of you that have waited 15
I'm giving you
to
the
20
two
years.
thumbs up. I'm doing this right now because
But
every 2 to 3
you have to
years.
make it happen.
Put it on your calendar.
and
Time goes by fast.
It does. And
Our
if you
hair
change
gets
your
cut
hair color,
and then our hair grows
yes,
and then it's
if you
straight.
cut your hair,
and then-
if you change your hair color, you should update your headshot. This is branding, guys. It's huge. And so it's really important that you look something like that person. And if you're not sure, because, we're all kind of biased, ask the people in your office, hey guys, do you think it's time for a new headshot? They'll tell you, oh yeah, it's totally time. Or they'll say, no, that still kind of looks like you. They will be honest with you because that's what we do. So yeah, it's important, guys.
I tell people who are, agents are afraid to do video. They don't, I don't like to see myself on camera. Well, you're not going to see yourself. In fact, I'm not even looking at myself right now. I'm only looking at you. But the point is, and my office knows this, I say this all the time, we only look at ourselves as humans when we're brushing our teeth or washing our face or drying our hair or shaving if you're a man. That's right. Like what, 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, five, but everyone else we see every day, this is what we look like. This is what we look like. So we got to get over it, whether we like it or not. And I think our photos need to reflect who we are, especially for branding, like you said. So I'm confident that you do offer those services as well.
I do. And it's very unique in that I come into the office. I have a minimum of 3 people that I photograph at a time. It's $150 each, so incredibly affordable. And I take the pictures right there. You look at them on the computer with me. We edit them together, and then you have the pictures. That's it.
The file's
so I
yours.
make sure, however much photoshopping you want, no problem. I got it. I can help you with that. And I'm very good at it. So I do it quickly. I get it exactly the way you want. And then it's done. There's none of this back and forth via email. We make sure it fits your vision as well as mine, which is I want to make sure you look realistic.
Or waiting 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks just to see the proofs, right? And then pick the proof you like. It's just a long, I love, we're in an Uber, Amazon on-demand, friendly, Netflix, not friendly, but fast is what I'm saying. And Uber fast, we're living in that world right now. We are. Netflix fast. So love that service. Nobody wants to wait anymore. But let's mention too, it's maybe not just real estate professionals, anyone needing a new headshot. That might be an insurance agent, anyone who has their face out there as the brand of their business. So,
sure. And I've put down a lot of dating headshots.
So what headshots? Dating.
Yeah, for dating websites.
Oh, right.
People are like,
dating. Yes, anyone out there.
I'm getting out there and
dating.
I want to look good. Can you make me look a little better? You say, you bet. No problem.
That's a great niche. That's a really great niche. Yeah, very good. Debra Lawrence, just like Debbie Lawrence, but Debra Lawrence, thank you for being on our show today. With Debra Lawrence, you can be reached, of course, at your website, and that's abundantmomentsphotography.com. Debra, I thank you so much for being on our show today. We look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
Thank you, Lettiann. And it's actually abundantmoments.com.
Okay, not photography. Forgive me. Thank you so much. Abundantmoments.com. You can reach Debra there if you have any questions about the services that she offers. And we thank you for tuning in to another episode of Real Estate U with Lettiann. We'll see you next time.
The Real Estate U podcast with Lettiann.